Welcome back to Good Afternoon Kentucky. I'm joined by my friend and colleague, ABC 36 News anchor and the host of Let's Talk Kentucky, and lucky for us, a PhD candidate in political science, as it turns out, Sherelle Roberts.
Hey, Doug.
So good to have you with us.
Really glad to be here. I mean, Election Day is my favorite day of the year.
I know. You've been in the zone all day. I've seen you working the phones all day on both sides of the aisle. So the big question then, and you've managed campaigns in the past too, Sherelle. Give us the inside track here. What are you hearing? How hot is this race for governor going to get?
So I think this one is as hot as it could possibly get.
Wow.
This is going to be a very close race, looking like the numbers are going to be anywhere between 2% and 4%, and it could go for either candidate. Again, I have been on the phones all day. I've been talking to both folks, Republican strategists, Democrat strategists, and they say that it's going to be a tight one. The latest poll that we saw had both candidates 47-47 with that margin of error between 2 and 4.
2 and 4.
So it could really go either way tonight. It's going to depend on a couple of different variables.
Okay. What are we looking at, variable-wise?
All right. So I've said from the beginning, and this hasn't been the conventional wisdom, but I've said from the beginning that this has been Daniel Cameron's race to lose. He's incredibly popular. The first time that he was elected, he got some of the highest vote totals for any constitutional officer ever that was a Republican. He is a Senator Mitch McConnell protege. He has been following him and been groomed by him. He has the endorsement of former President Donald Trump, which is a big deal because former President Trump carried Kentucky both times, right? So those are favorables for Attorney General Daniel Cameron. Then we're talking about Governor Beshear. He is one of the most popular governors in the entire United States of America, right? His approval ratings were like at 64%. They're in the 60s. That's a lot. Then he was a COVID governor, and as far as COVID governors, especially the ones who helped to save lives, had really strong leadership, we've seen a boost for them around the United States, regardless of party. We can look at Brian Kemp down in Georgia, right? He's gotten a boost. Beshear has gotten a boost. And then, unfortunately, this governor has had to navigate many natural disasters. So we're talking about Eastern Kentucky, Western Kentucky, floods and tornadoes. He's shown a lot of compassion. He's gone out there. He's gotten people money. They've started to do recovery work, and he's given a plan forward. But I think in politics, people might not know the numbers, but they know when you show up.
Oh, yes.
When you spend time with them, when you shake their hand, when you give them a bottle of water. And so they both have pretty good favorables. It's the other stuff that we have to watch out for.
The psychology of this, too. So with our viewers and our voters, what kind of impact have these campaigns had, the political ads in particular?
So there are a couple of different issues going on in this campaign. One cannot be overlooked, especially for women, and that's the issue of abortion and reproductive care. Governor Beshear believes that reproductive care and abortion is something that should be between a woman and their doctor, and he's kind of left it at that. Attorney General Cameron has taken more of a staunch approach, saying that he would be in favor of some abortion bans. He's kind of moderated that stance, but not really. It's been kind of waffling. You're not really sure where he stands. Birth control questions have come into play, so we've got that. Then we have Senate Bill 150, and everybody remembers this is the big either or and or law that controlled schools. Can they teach sex education? Can they talk about gender orientation? So these are some of the issues that are going on right now. So abortion, transgender issues, sexual orientation issues, sex education, and then you've got the economic issues. I mean, inflation. Right,
which is unprecedented right now.
Yeah, a pack of hot dogs does not cost what it used to cost, right? So we got inflation issues, but then we also have the economic growth in the dollars that Governor Beshear has brought in, largely because of COVID. All of that money coming in from the federal government, all of those ARPA dollars, being able to hand those out and apportion those. Then we have all of the dollars for recovery. And Governor Beshear has created or brought in an environment where jobs can be created, all these batteries. So this is really going to come down to, I think, culture wars versus economics, big issues versus who do you like better.
A lot to unpack here. We've got about a minute left, Sherelle, and you're going to join us later on in the broadcast too, but let's talk about down ballots real quick and how that's factoring in.
So the down ballot races, I think that's going to look more traditional for a red state. What I'm hearing from both our Democrat and our Republican strategists is that the folks who are down ballot are likely going to, it's probably going to go Republican. But If Governor Beshear can hit a certain number, and I'm hearing both 6% and 10% from the strategists, if he can win by that much, then there'll be some coattails, and maybe some of those folks who are down ballot might get a little help, and we'll see. We'll see. We got to see what happens tonight.
Well, there's a lot to talk about. We're so glad you're staying with us. We're going to come back with you in just a little bit, and we want a primer for us non-PhD political science types.